NFL. And right now, let's turn our attention to college football for the next few minutes as we have a special guest joining us here on the show. He is the man responsible for turning around the program at Western Michigan. One win 4 years ago when he took over the job, and now here they are 13-0, ready to play Wisconsin in the Cotton Bowl. What a dramatic turnaround for the Broncos of Western Michigan, and the man behind that is P.J. Fleck, the head coach, joining us here on the Morning Run. P.J., good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing elite. How's everybody doing out there?
Yeah, doing great. Doing elite? I've never heard that before. That's pretty cool. I like that. I may have to steal that one from you, PJ. And that's become the norm here. People are stealing a lot of the things that you're saying because it's working so well. And we'll get to one of your famous sayings here. But I want to take you back, first of all, 4 years ago. You take over at Western Michigan, coming from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You win all of one game, 1-11 in your first season. What do you remember most about that season?
I remember, to be honest with you, I remember all the failing, and we define failing in our program as growth. I remember watching things happen and not sacrificing what we really want down the road for what we wanted right now, and watching our players handle that. And a lot of the guys like Zach Terrell and Keon Adams and Michael Henry, guys like that were actually here. There's only 3 left from really that regime. Of really staying throughout the whole course of this whole thing. But just watching the fight on their face, watching the struggle of an old culture mixing with a new culture. Does it fit me? Does it not fit me? Am I doing all the right things? Should I leave? Should I stay? I remember a lot of the struggle. I think that's what's got us to where we are right now is our failing and our actual struggle throughout the season to really embrace our past to create what we're calling our future now.
We're seeing right now your overall records throughout the years, 1-11, 8-5, 8-5, to a now 13-0 undefeated record and playing in the Cotton Bowl. What did you take from that first year? What did that first year do to help inspire you and drive you to get to where you guys are now?
Well, I think it goes back to, what I said. The biggest lesson I learned, to be honest with you, is never sacrifice what you really want down the road for what you want right now. We took over this program. There's a lot of people that might have put a Band-Aid over it, went, 18 JUCOs, and just try to hurry up and flip it and leave, especially being the youngest head coach in the country. But we wanted to do it the right way, our way. Not to say it is the right way, it's just our way of doing things. We drew a 6-hour radius around Kalamazoo, and we said, hey, if we're going to do open-heart surgery to this thing, we are not going to just put a Band-Aid over it. And we knew that when we were going to do that, we were going to take our lumps year one. We really were. It was going to be a struggle because year 2, we actually played 18 to 19 true freshmen. So when you talk about playing 18, 19 true freshmen, we went 8-5, but man, we had the ability to possibly go 2-10 or 3-9 as well. But it's the ability to truly focus in on what is really important. Where's the vision? What's the ultimate vision and goal down the road? And what are we going to do today to get there and not have it happen right away? And it's tough to do. I'm not going to lie to you. It was one of the toughest things we had to do. But staying true to who we were, I think, is really the key to what the success we've had now.
When did you see it click in the players' eyes, the things that you were saying? I mean, it's tough to convince kids when you're coming off a 1-11 season. Hey, we could be undefeated in a couple of years. I'm not saying that you said that, but that's where you are now. But kids want to see that, want to hear that, but at the same time, they want to say, wait a minute, what's this guy talking about? When did you notice that, all right, we're doing something here and we've turned the corner?
Well, it was the Ball State game 2.5 years ago, our second year. We're down by 20-something at halftime. And I literally walked into the locker room and just asked the team, I said, when are you tired of being average? And that was it. That was my halftime speech. And then I walked out. That was all I said. At that point, I was like, geez, we're 2-4. Who knows? And the next thing you know, our team comes back from the deficit, wins the game, and then we won 6 straight and went 8-4. So it was that moment I thought that it wasn't just winning a game. It wasn't just beating a 1AA school or then beating Idaho on the road that year. It was having to come back from a massive deficit at halftime, make a commitment to rowing the boat. And I'm just so thankful and blessed that it turned out the way it did, because if we would have lost that game, who knows where the culture would be. And every culture goes through that when you have a cultural change or a turnaround, you're building a program. There's that one win that defines it. And to me, that's what it was about. They knew what Row the Boat was. They executed Row the Boat, and from then, our program changed forever.
All right, Coach, that's been your rallying cry since you got there, row the boat. What does it mean and where did it come from?
Yeah, it's a never give up mantra. It's very simple. It's one of the most simple sayings that you can have. I mean, shoot, it's really a nursery rhyme when it comes down to it. That's how simple it is. But February 9th, 2011, lost my second son to a heart condition. And when you hold your son and he passes away in your arms, it changes your life forever. You're now living for him. So I knew I wanted to be a head football coach, and I wanted to have something that I could also live my life through to live for my son. So that's where I came up with Row the Boat. It's not just a saying. It has a lot of meaning to not just football, but just people who have nothing to do with football. And that's why we brought it to Western Michigan. So first and foremost, the oar is the energy you bring to your life. It's the thing that moves you through life. It's the only thing that can move you anywhere. If your oar is in the water, you can go. If you quit, take your oar out of the water, you're going to stay in the same place forever, and you're not going to go anywhere. The boat is a sacrifice. What are you willing to give up for something that you never had? The more you give, the more you love, the more you sacrifice for other people, the bigger your boat gets and the more people you can influence. And then the third part is the compass. The compass is the direction of your life. And the direction of your life is really about the people you surround yourself with, which is critical for 18 to 22-year-olds. It's the most influential time in their life. If you surround yourself with idiots, you're going to become an idiot. If you surround yourself with elite people, you're going to be an elite person. So there's a lot more to it, but to be honest with you, that's really what it is. And, you know, we have pink oars for people with breast cancer in our community and all over the country, puzzle piece ones for autism, purple ones for pancreatic cancer, yellow ones for troops that come home. So, again, it's a rallying cry for our entire community and nationwide of just never give up, keep your oar in the water as you go through life, that it's about perspective, not about your circumstance.
I don't know about you, but I am 100% motivated. Coach, I'm ready to play. Put me in, Coach. I'm ready to go. That was amazing.
That's powerful stuff, PJ.
Yeah.
PJ, why are you still in Kalamazoo?
I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm a very joyful person this time of my life. I've been miserable before. I've also been happy before. You know, happiness is really letting the circumstance dictate your behavior. So when things are going really good, you're happy. Things are going really bad, you're pretty sad. I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm a very joyful, where circumstance doesn't dictate my behavior. My perspective of the circumstance dictates how I feel. I love the community. I love where I live. My wife's from Kalamazoo. I'm from Chicago. We have something really special here. And, you know, I'm not saying I'll stay forever. They could fire me in a few years. You know, it's really, what have you done for me lately? But I never, ever wanted to be a person that people had to tell me what to do and what I should do with my life and my career. But I think a lot of times, a lot of people take things for granted. They always think the grass is greener on the other side, when really weeds are always greener than grass. I'm not sure if you knew that, but yeah, I'm just incredibly joyful. I'm not saying I'll never leave, but I'm incredibly joyful here. My focus is on my players. I really enjoy coaching them. I really enjoy my coaching staff, and I really enjoy how the community has responded to Row the Boat. And I'm really young, and I think we can do something really special here. So, again, I'm not ever going to be defined by where I'm at. I'm going to be defined by how many people I can influence, and that doesn't matter where I'm at.
Well, Coach, you've been around a lot of great players during your playing career and your coaching career. How does Corey Davis stack up against other players that you've been around?
Well, he's one of the best players I've ever coached. More importantly, though, guys, he's one of the best people you'll ever meet in your entire life. I've coached Mohamed Sanu's. I've coached Vincent Jackson's. I've got around incredible people, and he's just as good of a person as them and just as good of a player as them. He's going to be a high draft pick. He deserves everything he gets. He's the hardest worker on our football team, and a lot of times that doesn't happen, especially towards you get to the end of the year, where, you know, a lot of high draft picks will kind of either shoot. One kid from Oklahoma, I think, left his football team because he wanted to focus on the draft. You know, there's a lot of times you see a slip in performance because nobody wants to get hurt. They're preparing for the NFL late in the season, and they don't focus on their team. Well, Corey Davis has only gotten better as the season's gone on, and he's just an incredible professional at a college level, and he's just a wonderful leader and an incredible person to be around.
You have been an inspiration to so many, and you mentioned your son, but who else has been an inspiration to you?
I'll be honest with you, my wife is my ultimate inspiration. Besides my faith and my religion and my God, my wife is my inspiration. You know, she brings out the best in me every single day. And, you know, when you marry your best friend and you have your best friend as your partner, it's a very special relationship. And we do everything together. We go everywhere together. We're best friends. It's not like, I have to have my boy time. She has to have her girl time. We love just being around each other. And, her story of her life, her changing her best every single day, her fighting through a lot of difficult, adverse situations she's been throughout her life. She's my inspiration. And then, obviously my kids, I do everything for my children. I want them to be proud of their dad, not because of wins or him being a coach, but the influence and the impact he's made on the world somehow, some way. And he was able to do it his way. So there's been a lot of influences in my life, a lot of coaches that have touched my life. But day to day, it's my wife. She pulls the most elite things out of me every day. And really, I'll be honest with you, she challenges me to be the most real version of me that I can. That you've got to do exactly what you preach, PJ. And if you're going to expect people to do that, you better do the same thing. And she holds me accountable. And I love her for that.
That's nice.
It's amazing.
By the way, there's so much energy just coming through the screen from what you're saying there, PJ. What do you do to relax?
I'm not a very good person. I'm not a very good relaxer, if that's even a word. I don't relax very much. I really don't. If I do relax, I've got to be completely taken out of the moment. So, my wife and I will go to movies. Our kids will take them to, we went to Moana the other day, the Disney movie. But I have to be in something that completely takes my mind away from whatever I'm doing professionally. And most of the time that's movies. But like sitting down, reading a book, that's going to take me to work. That's going to be able to do that. Now, in the summertime, I love the boat. I love to fish. I love spending time on the water with my kids. But other than that, I don't relax much. I don't even enjoy relaxing, to be honest with you.
You're a hard worker. We can absolutely tell. Hey, Coach, let's talk about the Cotton Bowl on January 2nd at AT&T Stadium. By the way, have you been to AT&T Stadium? It's like a spaceship when you turn the corner. It's a completely barren parking lot, and then it's just a giant stadium.
Yeah, I got a chance to coach in it when I was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFL, and I got a chance to be there. It's a remarkable place, and Jerry World is very, very special. And our players, the problem, though, guys, is when they go in there and see the place, we used to think our scoreboards are pretty big because we've got new ones. They're going to come back and say, Coach, we need bigger scoreboards.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
All right, PJ, one more question before we let you go. And we're talking about the energy that you bring to the program and the emotions, certainly on a positive side. Have you thought about what it's going to be like? I mean, you mentioned the three players and Corey Davis as well, guys who were there at the beginning, who were there for that one-win season, now to be playing in the Cotton Bowl, and then you're going to have to say goodbye to them. Have you thought about the emotions that might be inside you on that day, January 2nd, in the Cotton Bowl?
I've thought about them very quickly because I know it's going to be very difficult and very hard. I'm an emotional person. These kids are my children, I've got 4 kids of my own. But when you talk about, these players, these 105 players, I spend more time with these guys teaching them, developing them, being a parent to them than I do my own children. And that's just one of the things about being a coach is you sacrifice a lot of your family for other people's kids. And that's going to be the hardest part because these guys are a huge part of my life. I love them dearly. But I know this, that they'll always be in our lives. They'll always be in Western Michigan's life. They'll always be attached to Kalamazoo and definitely the Fleck family. But they've given so much to me, probably way more than I've ever given to them. They've given to me. And that's something that's very rewarding and very special about this coaching profession.
Hey, Coach, real quick, let's talk X's and O's. You defeated 2 Big Ten schools in Northwestern and Illinois this year. How will that help against Wisconsin?
Yeah, I will say this, with all due respect, Wisconsin's a completely different animal. They are one of the best teams in the country, a top 6 team in the country. They have an incredible offense, ran by Joe Rudolph and Paul Chris, their head football coach. They do a ton of shifts, ton of motions. They make it very, very difficult for you. They're not that difficult of a offense in terms of simplicity. They do a lot of things, but they do a lot of things really well. But they do it in a lot of disguises, a lot of shifts, a lot of motions, a lot of checks. You got to be right, and they're going to force you to be wrong, and then they're just going to grind you out. And then on defense, they're just one of the best front 7 we've faced all year. They were very comparable to 2 years ago of Ohio State. And I think this front 7 is probably better than Ohio State's front 7 defensively than we faced 2 years ago. So might be the best football team that we've played since we've been here in our 4 years, in my opinion.
Wow.
Well, I hope Wisconsin's ready, though, because I know you guys are going to bring the fire. Hey, PJ, it was great having you here on the show. Congratulations on all your successes up to this point, and we hope to be catching up with you down the road, maybe after a 14-0 season.
Perfect. I really look forward to it. Thanks for having us on the show. Keep rowing the boat. Thanks.
Yeah.
We
Good
will.
luck,
All
Coach.
right.